Today I'm going to show you how to work with APIs in Unity so that you can make something like this. So normally I would post comments about what everyone requested here. Unfortunately, today's not the case. I really wanted to do a video on an augmented reality app that was less of a game and more of a tool, because I really think that is the killer application of augmented reality, which by function should enhance one's current perception of reality. So I got it in my head that I wanted to make an app that would take a picture and do a reverse image search on it, returning the best guess as to what that image was. The problem is that there are no APIs to do this that are free. So I wasted all my spare time last week trying to figure out a way to do this, and it ended up being much more complicated than I thought. So rather than building it from scratch in this video, I posted the project on Github so you guys can play with it. I will walk you through how to set it up and use it later, but I think for now it would be more valuable to you guys if we talked about APIs and how you can make your augmented reality apps smarter. If you have not seen this video about RESTful APIs, I highly recommend checking it out. There's a lot of good information in there. So Unity's www class is the first step in doing this stuff because it allows you to make requests via HTTP to a server. When you visit a website, you are doing just this. You are typing in a URL into your browser and making an HTTP request to the server at that address. The web server returns you the HTML code that your browser uses to render the web page. To illustrate this further, let's make a request to www.unity.com. Start a fresh Unity project, create a C# script called test, and drag it onto your main camera. First, create an enumerator called request. We want to work with www objects inside a coroutine so we don't halt the entire program while things are processing. Let's make sure this code will run by starting the coroutine in the start function. Inside the coroutine, let's create a string and define it as the web address to Unity. Create a new object and pass in the URL. Yield return so we don't continue until that operation is done. Create a string called HTML and define it as www.text, which is a string of text that was returned from our request. When we print this out, we will see that this is the HTML of unity.com. Now, without getting into APIs just yet, we could actually parse this data to get useful information out of it. This is called web scraping. Say, for example, we want to get the title of the web page. We know from standard HTML that the title will be between two title tags, a start title and an end title tag. Just know there are better ways to do this, but for now, let's just manipulate the string to pull out what we want. Right now, we've got a string separated by individual characters. So when we print HTML2, we get the third character, since indices start at 0. Let's instead create a list of strings and split it by the new line character. Now, when we print HTML list2, we get the third line of text. To find the line that contains title, we can loop through every line of text using a for loop. We can find the desired line by checking if the current line contains the word title. Once we have found that line, we can replace the first title tag with an empty string, and then replace the second title tag with an empty string. Let's print the result, and then we can break here because we don't need to go any further. The result will now contain the title of the web page. If you want a better but slightly more complicated method of doing this, you can look into regular expressions or regex. Now let's look into making an actual API request. We're going to use the Google Custom Search API. First, we need a unique key, so search Google Custom Search API key and go to the first link. Create an account if you don't already have one, and create an app. Enable the Custom Search API for this app and copy the key to your clipboard. You can do 100 searches for free a day with this particular API. Go back to Unity and let's start by deleting everything up until we set our HTML string. Let's rename this JSON because we will be getting back a JSON object, which is JavaScript object notation. Let's just copy and paste our API key anywhere for now. Go back to Google and click on Using REST. If you look around here, you'll find that the API requires 3 parameters: the API key, a custom search engine ID, and a search query. Copy the example request and paste it in the URL string back in Unity. Move your license key to the appropriate location in the URL, and since we're not going to create a custom search engine, change the CX parameter to CREF and make it an empty string. Create a private string variable called query and set it equal to whatever you want to search for. Go back to the URL and remove everything after q equals, and concatenate the string with the query variable we just defined. Now, when we print out the response, we will have all the Google results organized into neat JSON objects. You can extract what you want using a library called lit.json. That would allow us to neatly deal with all this information, or we could just parse it using the same method as the HTML from the previous example. Now, there's a ton of other APIs just like this one available online. With this information in your arsenal, you should be able to deal with any of them easily. So going back to the app that we saw in the intro, we're going to need to understand a couple more things. The app is supposed to do a reverse image search on a picture taken from Unity and return Google's best guess as to what the image is. With this best guess, we can now search Google for more information about what that guess is. Ideally, I thought the app could work like this. Take a picture in Unity and send that picture as an array of bytes to Google's reverse image search API. It would return its best guess for that image. We could then use Google Search API to search that result and get more information about it. Turns out, the Google Reverse Image Search API is deprecated, and even to do the search in the browser, you need an image URL. So I found the Cloudinary API, which lets you upload an image as a byte array via HTTP and returns you an URL where that image is hosted. Great. Now I thought I could simply pass that URL into Google's reverse image search and parse the results in Unity. Turns out, the results of such a request get redirected multiple times and are finally rendered as HTML via JavaScript. Since getting the data that we need is not possible in Unity alone, the only way I could think to get it was to create my own API of sorts in PHP. I could pass the URL of the image I want to search from Unity to a PHP script that I have hosted on a server. The PHP script could follow the redirects from Google and is able to view the JavaScript rendered HTML using Node.js, which is a server-side JavaScript environment. So I put this project on GitHub, so let me give you the details on how to get it working. First of all, you need some kind of server that can run PHP. You will also need to be able to SSH into that server such that you can install Node.js. I host all my websites with HawkHost. It's only like $5 a month. So if you go to your main page of the hosting account, you can view your username. So using terminal or Windows command prompt, log in via SSH by entering your username and password. Install Node.js using the instructions here. You can check if it's installed by typing node ---- version. Okay, so find this project on GitHub and clone or download the zip. So now open up the project in Unity and you'll see this getdata.php file. Drag this onto your desktop, and we need to get this up to our server. So you can either use FileZilla, or I tend to use Sublime Text with SFTP. That's a plugin that allows you to upload things to your server. So get this into kind of the main directory of your website and get this uploaded to your server. Once that's done, open back up Unity and open up the take a picture script in MonoDevelop. And you'll see the only thing we need to do to get this working is fill out these couple variable names here. So the first one is yourwebsite.com/getdata.php. We need to basically set the string for the URL that we're going to use. In my case, my domain name is matthewhallberg.com. So my file path to this getdata.php file is going to be matthewhallberg.com/getdata. And you're also going to need to append it with the $URL equals. Next, we need our Google API key. You should already have this set up if you've been following along in the video, but if not, go to Google, search Google Custom Search API, and you should be able to pull this up here. Down here, it'll say Custom Search Engine Get Key. It'll make you select a project. I called mine Unity Test. Enable the API, and copy and paste the key that this has here. So you want to paste that key into here. And then let's go. We need to get our Cloudinary cloud name and upload preset name. So go to cloudinary.com and sign up for an account. You'll get brought to this dashboard here. Cloud name is going to be right here. I'm leaving all this stuff here. I don't pay for any of these APIs, so if you guys want to steal this stuff, fine. Because I don't pay for anything, but please don't. Please just make your own accounts. So copy and paste your cloud name here, and then upload preset name is the last thing that we should need. So go back to Cloudinary and click on settings. Hit the upload tab, and under here click add upload preset. Change the mode from signed to unsigned. This way we don't have to use our Cloudinary keys or anything to actually upload images. And hit save. Now copy and paste this unsigned uploading key and go back to MonoDevelop and paste this in here. Save and build that, and now everything should be working. This is going to take a while. Obviously this isn't the best. I didn't optimize this very well. But hopefully it works. Yep, we got drink. A drink or beverage is a liquid intended for human consumption. Very good. Okay, so that's all I got. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you want to see in the next video. If you've seen any of my code on GitHub or you've actually looked at this project, you know that I'm a total hack. I'm a terrible programmer. So if anyone could refactor this code or make it faster or better, I'd greatly appreciate it. Definitely let me know. I'll accept whatever requests I get on GitHub. And with that, I'm drunk. Cheers. So normally I would post comments about what everyone requested here. About what everyone requested here.